I made $145,000
In 2 months.
in 2 months.
145,000,
Yeah.
and you said within. Can you say what it's now?
Now we're at 6 figures a month.
6 figures a month.
Yeah.
This is Gary's HQ, and just came down from a full day of masterminding, talking to Gary. He was there for, I think, 3 hours of just like rapid fire help. The CEO of Stan, and just these people who have made a lot of money on Stan.
I made $76,000 over the 8 weeks.
Actually earned more from the challenge in a week than my business typically earns in a month.
And what was really cool was there were a few wild card winners who didn't make 6 figures like most of us did in that 2-month period, but instead they made maybe 500 or they made 1,000 or 2,000, and they got their first dollars on the Stan store. So if you have 5,000 followers, 500 followers,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can get your first sale potentially. And it was just really exciting because you can go from zero. We were able to see different people. There's even like someone who had hot sauce, but she didn't sell the hot sauce. She sold a recipe book that you can use the hot sauce in, right? So just really creative, interesting things that they were able to do. And it gave me a lot of inspiration to bring back directly to you. I'm gonna give you all of my take, what I learned, what I taught, because there was a lot of that too, as you can imagine. Listen, everybody, let's get our acts together. If you do not have Bella energy, if you are not willing to come correct with your Instagram handle, with your AI generated group of friends wearing your AI generated t-shirt, I do not want to talk to you. And then my biggest takeaways, what's gonna help you now? What's gonna help you start a Stan store in the next 24 hours, get your product going, and actually start seeing people landing on your page. Now, if you want to get there faster, I have my Stan operating system, Stan OS. You can get it individually on stan.store/Arlan, or you can join my Your First 5K and upgrade to VIP, and you get it included in every single AI tool that I have now and for all of 2026, anything that I launch. So that is an amazing 360 pass that costs just $360. And you get it, so whether you're gonna do that or you're gonna get it by itself, Stan OS has everything you need, from thinking through what will my product be, what will my lead magnet be to help people get to know me better. What is a lead magnet? What is a product on Stan? How do you set it up? To how do I optimize that email sequence with the right words, the right copy, the right timing, so that even if people land on my page and don't buy from me the first time, I get to have this conversation with them over time. And that's where most of the money comes from. And I can tell you that from this conversation I just had with about 20 amazing entrepreneurs, the auto DMs, which is something that I can tell you about, and the email sequence was some of the best, most converting sales for them, even beyond that first touch on the page. So if you want all of that written for you, strategized for you, with all of the AI I have, and 4 workshops that explain it step by step, you're going to want to get that Stan OS. Okay, so what is your name and what do you sell on Stan?
My name is Lindsay, the Organic Cure, and I sell a holistic health membership for moms to help their kids at home.
Wow, okay.
My name is Mare, it's Socials with Mare, and I sell a mentorship for UGC creators so that they can start scaling their business with their personal brand.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm a women's health practitioner and I support a ton of women online with a coaching program and membership and just really helpful resources that are both free and paid on Stan Store.
Hi, my name is Jenna and my channel is ABA Naturally. I'm a board certified behavior analyst and teacher, and I sell a parenting course that helps parents have calmer homes, less power struggles with no fluff.
Okay, I'm gonna have everyone tell you how well they did on this challenge, because we just spent the whole day together, and when I tell you, you're gonna love these gems that are about to drop. Okay, so how well did you do on the challenge? What would you like to say about that?
I made $76,000 over the 8 weeks, and one thing I took away is that we spoke about today is I feel sometimes yucky selling, but I sold even more during the stand challenge. I mean, I offered my product more times and I sold more and I still increased followers. So what I took away was sell more.
It's real, because what she's saying is like she does not feel good about selling, putting herself out there, and so many of you have told me that. But I have to imagine, what was the reason that you did sell? What said, yes, I have to do this?
I made sure that I had 2 posts a day, and one was focused more on selling and the other one was focused more on just gaining followers.
The stand challenge went really well. I think my main thing was that we've supported over 5,000 people on their anti-inflammatory journey. And I think there's this misconception that when you have something digitally online, that it takes away from like the organic nature of your content or helping people or even physical products. But I launched a book with a publisher and it's now a Sunday #1 Times bestseller, which is crazy. And that was whilst climbing through the stand challenge too. So kind of like what you said, like you can have it or you don't have to pick one or the other. And I think when it comes from a place of like genuine authenticity, sharing your journey and like really trying to help people, anything is possible. I've always found that the only times I've not done well is when I'm not being my authentic self. So that would be my #1 piece of advice, is if you're like doing it genuinely from your heart, everything will do well.
I entered the stand challenge thinking that I wouldn't be able to place in top 10 just because of my follower count, and I didn't let that limiting belief hold me back, even though I really, really wanted to. So just being here and around some really amazing people and just actually seeing them for people and not their follower count was really amazing. But the one thing that I learned was that if you're authentic and you can really deliver that value and that authenticity and that genuine like care through the camera, your follower count doesn't matter. When I started the stand challenge, I was at about 6,500 followers, and I was able to secure about 16 new mentees in my program, and literally all through just being myself and just authentically embracing who I really am. I had a lot of success despite my follower count, and again, like I was totally skeptical, but I did this to honestly show my students and mentees that it doesn't matter what your follower count is, as long as these brands or agencies or whoever wants to work with you can derive value from your content, period. Like that's all that matters.
I was a little skeptical about how the challenge would go because I have tried launching products before and it hasn't gone super well. But this time around, I did a much better job at nurturing my audience throughout the sales process, and I gave them a cause. I told them why I was doing it. I told them to get on board with me, that Gary Vee was involved. Of course, some name dropping helped, and that took things a long way. I actually earned more from the challenge in a week than my business typically earns in a month.
So who are you and what's your name and what did you sell on stand?
Hi, my name is Arlan, and I sell a digital product where I teach brands how to generate content with AI for their products.
Wow, and I remember, I mean, we just spent the whole day together. It was amazing. We both won this contest, but I remember you were talking about how much demand you had for what you were already doing. Right? So tell me a little bit about that. You're teaching people exactly what and why are so many people excited about it?
I think it's just such a new opportunity. You don't need like 6 figures anymore to like generate content for your brand, and you don't need to reuse the same old content over and over again. So for the first time, like small brands have the opportunity to like generate the content that only like big brands would have access to, and that's what makes me so excited. Especially now we get like lots of inquiries from like small brands that don't have the capacity to do it themselves.
And so you sold on stand, that's why you won the contest. What was it about stand that made it really exciting for you, like helpful to you?
It was just like so easy. Like I just set it up in one day and I was like ready to go.
And can you say how much you made?
Within the challenge I made $145,000.
In 2 months?
In 2 months.
$145,000, and you said within, can you say what it's now?
Now we're at 6 figures a month.
6 figures a month? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so what is one thing that the entrepreneurs watching can take away from, if they're joining Stan, I'm trying to tell them to join Stan, what is going to work for them? What has helped you?
What has helped me is like talking about something that you're actually excited about. So for me, it was like helping small brands to actually like build the content, have access to the content that only big brands would have access to. So it wasn't selling for me, it was just like giving access, and I think that's what the easiest
So being like really true to the product and not just selling something just because you think it'll make sense.
Exactly.
Like you worked on it.
I worked on it.
It was something that helped you first. So something that helps you first, and then you help other people with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I tested the demand first. We have an agency, we tested it first. And then I saw that I would be able to help them because it was like so clear for me.
Yeah.
So I tested
And did you
it
used Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So Instagram, you posted reels or shorts? I mean, reels or stories, or what did you post?
Honestly, like I didn't have time for stories, so I did just like reels.
Reels.
And carousels.
And how many?
One per day.
One per day,
Yeah.
one reel per day, with like words on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Words on
I
the
mean,
screen?
Heavily edited, the reels, like they took lots of time. But the carousels are a little bit easier, so I had a perfect
and
mix at some point.
you're selling something that makes those types of videos.
Yeah, it's pretty
How can
fun.
somebody get that, by the way? Because if they want to have their own cool reels, how can they get your product?
They can go to my stand store, Mobile Editing Club, or the Instagram page, Mobile Editing Club, and then it's like either a small guide or like a full course where we teach how to edit it into like a full reel, just the way we do.
That's so cool. You use that same thing to sell the thing to prove the point.
Yeah.
It's like a billboard. It's like, if you were here, you'd be here, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And the last question is, how many customers did you have in that 2-month period?
I think it was about 1,400.
And how many people follow you on Instagram?
Now 122,000, but back then it was about 80K.
So you had 80,000 followers on Instagram, and you had how many? 1,000 people.
1,400.
So one in every 80 followers purchased something that costs pretty much the same or a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if you have 5,000 followers, 500 followers, you
absolutely.
can get your first sale potentially.
We didn't see, like, I think that's very important because we started with like from zero. And the first moment we started like dropping the guide, the sales was like stable. We didn't see like a big increase with the amount of followers. So it didn't really matter for us to have like.
So what do you think it actually was? It was just the moment and the pain point.
I think was the pain point and actually being able to like show within the reel, within the content what they would get.
Yeah.
Because that's actual proof.
So demonstrate. Just
Demonstrate,
demonstrate somebody having success from that product, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
So nice to talk to you.
You too. Cool. So you saw, I mean, just the gems there. Take it, run with it. It's what we always talk about. It's about being authentic. It's about pushing through a little bit of that fear and a little bit of that not wanting to be out there because you know there's a greater purpose. It's about being consistent with your content and having content to begin with because you can't get in front of people. People don't know that you have anything to offer. And then it's about using the tools that you have in front of you. So you may have Stan or you may have something else. You may be using something for free, but that ingenuity is what got you so far and this far, and it'll take you much, much further. And I hope that that's been a little bit of inspiration for you. Oh no! It's too cold in New York right now. It is too cold. I'm back on the road here. I'm in New York. It reminds me a lot of 2 years ago when I dropped my second book, Your First Million. So I just left Gary Vee's headquarters, Vayner, and had a really great conversation with John at Stan. So he founded Stan and he owns Stan, CEO. And we had a great conversation. Then I had this, these amazing conversations that I'm sharing with you all. The New York Fireside is how we're kicking things off in this tour. And I think they're gonna be like maybe 80 to 100 people there. We'll see. And that's what it holds. So it's really nice. I rented out a place, kind of open floor plan. Should be comfortable. It's like a co-working spot. And very excited about New York. We also have, of course, my mother, Mrs. Sims, in the building with her famed eyewear. So anybody who is there tomorrow will get to see the eyewear in person and actually purchase. And she always does this very special pricing in person. So hopefully she'll do it tomorrow too. And it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna see a lot of Inner Circle members who live in or near New York. That'll be great. I know that Rachel's coming, Johnny's coming, Pam is coming. So I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a lot more too. And then on top of that, a lot of people who just got their tickets like within hours. So really cool. Then of course we'll head to Atlanta and then we'll make our way to Washington, D.C. So it's just gonna be a vibe every time. I'm excited about it. Just being in these rooms with the entrepreneurs, the investors, the teachers, the students who I get to work with every day virtually. There's just something about being in the room. And of course, this is all on the road to your first million, live, which this year will be in Beverly Hills and of course Los Angeles, April 9th and 10th. And so what I thought I would do, just like the last time, a couple of years ago, I thought I would go to a few cities first, bring my fireside locally to you. And if you can make it over to LA, I'd love to see you in April. But if you can't, then we got to hang out in person. And then I'm also, for the first time, going to be streaming. The way you get to see the stream, you don't even have to go to the event, Your First Million Live, is that you can join Your First 5K, and you can just upgrade to the premium tier, which costs $50, $50 for the entire year. So you get a bunch of bonuses plus the streaming. It's going to be amazing. We have more than 10,000 people in Your First 5K. And yeah, that's what you're going to see me. What do y'all think? I'm thinking about going live tomorrow night. I'm thinking about like just doing that for a few hours because we had such a good response. It's a whole trend right now, is the going live, and kind of being predicted by a few people. Hormozy's talking about it. Mr. Beast is talking about it. But I think what most people think is that that's for the entertainers, or that's for the Twitch influencers. But it's really, when I think of the people that I learn from the most when it comes to business, I would love to see them walking around live. What do they do minute to minute? What decisions do they make? How do they talk to people? Like, I would watch hours of Oprah, just a live stream of her, if she would be just her, like just the real. I would watch hours of probably Mark Cuban, although I've seen quite a bit of it now, having worked with him. But I would watch that. I would watch, let's see, who else? Rachel Rodgers. I know she has her new show coming out, though. Her new show is going to be like this well-produced show, so she probably doesn't have time to do the lives. But I would just watch some of my faves do their thing. And it doesn't have to be like you're going through town signing stuff and, you know, causing a scene and it has a bunch of people know you. It's really like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What decisions do you make? And I know Gary, speaking of, like, just spending the day with him, he's been doing this, he pioneered this. He's been doing lives for years, and he saw that trending again. He saw it before it became trendy, and he started doing it again like a couple of years ago. And here we are, where everybody's trying to do it. So I'm gonna follow the trend. I had a great time and a great experience with Afrotech. Rook and Angel were with me the whole time. You all, if you watched, you saw. You can still see it right now. You can just go to the live section of my YouTube and just go back a few videos from the live list, and you'll see Afrotech 2 days. And it's interesting. So it's not like a lot of people watch it. It's like maybe it'll get 1,000 views or 1,500 views over a month. But when people watch it, they watch it for depth. You talk about YouTube depth. I always talk about these 20, 30, 40-minute long videos. When people binge watch that, you're getting so much time with that person. But then if you think about a live, that's 2 hours, 3, 4 hours long. Nikki Saunders, my friend Nikki, who's a culture and AI expert, she just did a 6-hour live. I think it was on New Year's Day or something like that. She just did a 6-hour live. And, you know, I did a total of 9 hours at Afrotech, and people are quoting things that happened like hour 3. What I said to an entrepreneur that came through, that I interviewed, and they interviewed me back. And so if 100 people watch a 3-hour live that we put on from New York and feel like they were there, feel like they were part of it, part of something, even if they couldn't be in the room, and then it's just there too, and like I'm hopefully giving out information that's helpful to everyone, and then we have that listed. Now you take a risk though. That's why I'm 99% there, but you take a risk and then you don't know what's gonna happen live. Like, if you're someone who is risk averse or feels like you get embarrassed easily, then walking through a crowd or being in front of a crowd who knows you or doesn't know you is a little tough. Doing just like day in the life of you're by yourself or you're kind of living life, that's a little bit easier to do. I would start there. But if you're like, I'm gonna go to South by and I'm gonna film my whole day there, just know that something out of your control could happen. And that's the only little risk that I'm thinking of for tomorrow. But we'll see. If I do it, I'll let you know. You'll know later in this video if it happens, so stay tuned to see the answer to that. Or maybe I even titled it something or did I don't do with the thumbnail, but we'll see. These vlogs. And let me know in the comments what you've picked up on so far. Let me know if there's anything that has, from the ladies who won the stand contest with me, or anything I've said, or anything that happens, maybe even in the fireside. Let me know what is resonating with you. I was just saying, so some of Gary V's best performing clips are him just relating with someone, just talking to someone for a minute or two. And that's what we do naturally when we go out and do these lives. I meet with people, so I'm looking forward to getting a lot of that when we go. I think this is us. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. So we'll have the first 2 rows for VIP and for Inner Circle. First 2 rows. And if we can do it on the ends, or just like somewhere where it makes sense, on the backs, something like that. Just love that display every time I see it. So it's been a while since I've sold these in person, so I got a bunch of these because these were more available.
Did we tell you that we listened to the entire audiobook?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so what I'm doing is, these were put together before I got here, and I know what it's like to walk into a space and you're kind of a bigger person and you can't fit down the aisle. And it's embarrassing, so I don't want it to be only for one body type. So I'm just spreading it just a little bit. We'll see how that works out. But this way we should be able to now, for the most part, walk through. And then also what I'm doing is I'm sitting in different spots to say, okay, this is comfortable. That makes sense. There are definitely 100 people who are supposed to be here, but it's so cold, and 3 people have already written me to say that they're not going to make it because something happened. So I would imagine maybe 80 to 90 people will show, so we might need more seats. So in here, this is where we'll have VIP come in, and I'll do pictures, and I'll do signings that they get, special books. Like, actually, these books are the ones.
Hello, welcome. Can I get everybody's attention, please? Hey, y'all look so good up in here. Hey, thank you. Don't make me blush. Arlan will be out soon, but before that, I just wanted to come and let you know that my mother-in-law, Arlan's mother, Arlene Sims, is here, and she's here with her frame line, which is gonna be right over here with Rachel, and she is doing a very special price for NYC, honey, okay? Listen, you're not gonna get this price nowhere else. So you can go now or after Arlan's done speaking, check them out. You can try on, she has some demos out. You can try them on, see what color works well, because all the colors gonna work well, because that's just what you do when you're fabulous and you have a fabulous frame line. So do not hesitate to go check it out, try the demos, take some pictures, and definitely support Mrs. Sims because, you know, she's here all the time. She loves you guys, and I know you all love her very, very much. So don't forget about them. The Arlan Sims collection. It's gonna be right over there by that gorgeous photo of her.
I am back here in the green room, about to go out in just a few minutes and talk to some wonderful people. Angel, you don't have a mic, do you? Okay, Mama, how you feeling about tonight, New York? You got your glasses out there? How's it?
Oh, it's fantastic. And Angel, my daughter-in-law, she just did a fantastic job of
Hey, she did a fantastic, it was wonderful.
All phones on silent. Hello, everybody. I got a tap tap. I wish I had a glass. That's so good. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? Good. Can y'all hear me? Because I can hear y'all. Yeah. All right, I know that's right. Well, welcome. Thank you all for coming. I know y'all excited to see Arlan. Now, this is a prelude to Arlan's bigger event, Your First Million Live, which will be in Beverly Hills, California, in April. Who got their ticket already? Show your hand. I know that's right. Who's gonna get their ticket? I know that's right. I know that's right. Now, as much as I wish I was as fabulous as Arlan, I will do my best to intro her the best way I can. She is an entrepreneur. Will Smith called her a thinker. Okay? She's a 3-time author, working on 4. That's between us. Okay? She is amazing, and if she wasn't, you all wouldn't be here today. And so I need everybody graciously and real aggressive. Give a round of applause for the Arlan Hamilton.
Wow. Okay, New York. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hey, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Well, let me take this in for a second. Let me just see. Okay, so raise your hand if we've already met.
Online.
Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna hug everybody. How you doing? Okay, raise your hand. We have not met before. Hey, okay, wow. Anybody travel from outside of New York to get here? Where'd y'all come from?
Jersey.
Philly, what'd you say? Connecticut? Boston? Philly? Where's Angel? Can you hear me? Is this, we need a different mic? Yeah, because I could tell. Rachel, can I put you on the spot? Yeah, it's okay if you say hello, hello. Can y'all hear me better?
Yes.
Sounds better. Would you be open to interviewing me for about 20 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Okay, we're gonna grab one of these over here behind there. Yes, okay. Okay, everybody, oh my goodness, okay. So, hi Mother, how you feeling? Mrs. Sims, hey.
You know I had to come.
I know you did, okay, all right. Wow, okay, first of all, nobody told me it was gonna be this cold. I need somebody to have like some sort of a signal or some sort of a WhatsApp situation. Who is in your first 5K? Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, anybody in Arlan's All Access? Yes. Inner Circle? Inner Circle? And then my VIPs. Let me see my VIPs real quick. Okay. 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 Wow. Well, we're going to have, I said, I know I've been calling this a fireside for about a month or 2 weeks or so, and I didn't have anybody interview me because I thought, oh, we only have a little bit of time together, so I want to give you as much as I can when it comes to tactical stuff, because who wants to walk out of here with an idea or with something they can implement right away instead of it just being inspiration? Yes, that's what I want to give to you tonight. I did ask Rachel, and she's she's doing everything, so graciously agreed, but I knew she would be able to be up to it, just to do a little bit of an interview so that we could have a little kickoff, and then I'll spend the rest of the time doing that. Now, we did not have a chance to do this, put this in the email, so this may be a problem and somebody may have to get up and go. Is there anybody allergic to money in here? Is there anybody? You have all your stuff? You allergic to money? You good? Okay, good. Okay, good. She said she good.
It's allergic to me.
Yeah, she said it's allergic to her. Okay, so that's the play. I want to, I think hope you all know that I want to empower
a few
so many
moments
of us,
later.
you know, myself included. Like, it's been a road. It's been a road and a journey, and I see in everybody's faces something. I see a spark, something, and I'm not going to get emotional tonight because that's not what we're doing tonight.
Right. Yeah.
There's something in every single person here, and I believe it and I mean it. And when anybody watch me on YouTube? Yeah. Yes, if you don't watch me on YouTube, if your hand didn't fly up, please watch me on YouTube. All you have to do is go to itsaboutdamntime.com, and that leads you right to my YouTube channel, because that's the name of my first book, which, speaking of, I have not sold It's About Damn Time in person in years. I brought several copies to sell if anybody wants to grab it, because we're going to do a book signing after. Does that sound good? Everybody down? Yeah. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing? Everybody down for that? Okay, so I'm going to ask Rachel to come on over. I know it's a little off, but this is my first book. It's about, anybody read this before? So if you brought your book, I'm going to sign it for you. I cannot wait to meet you. Now, with VIP, what we're going to do is after I speak here, we're going to go in this back room here, and we'll get to do pictures and sign and everything, and then we'll come back out and join everybody else afterwards. Does that sound good?
I'm Rachel, everyone. I am one of the Inner Circle members. I've been in Inner Circle for going on 3 years now, and I discovered Arlan through that book she was just holding up. It's About Damn Time. So when I came across that book for the first time, it really changed my life, and I'm sitting here next to you, so that says a lot. Tell us, if you can, the mindset you were in when you wrote that book, knowing what you were living at that time.
Well, when I wrote this, I co-wrote it with in 2018 and 19. And thank you, Angel. I wrote this, and I had a co-writer, so it's About Damn Time. And so much had changed in like a 3-year period. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I'm gonna talk about it till the day I die. I was on the cover of Fast Company, right? So I was on the cover of Fast Company 3 years after I couldn't afford to buy a copy of Fast Company. And that's kind of the mindset I was in, is like so much had changed. Not so much money, but it was like the influence that I knew was things were changing. And I was part of that change. And at Backstage Capital, my venture fund, we had reached I think we had reached 100 investments around that time, when I was laughed out of rooms just a few years prior, saying, come back when you're more realistic, and come back, nobody's able to do that. Because I said I wanted to invest in 100 companies. Now we're at 200, including OpenAI, that is a ChatGPT, and that's an outlier one that we're doing just to be in the room there, right? Just to be in the room. But my thinking was, this is super early to have a book, but I want to have these mile markers in my career, and I want to live big. I want to live, as big as possible. Does not mean fame. Does not mean a ton of money. It means depth. It means width. And so I said, first of all, I want to remember this time, and I want to remember while it's fresh. And second of all, I'm writing this for me 3 years ago. and hopefully that'll reach somebody who was where I was 3 years ago. So it really, it's still my favorite book, if I'm honest. Like, I love Your First Million, and I think it's super helpful, and I love writing it, and I love doing all pieces of it. But I think It's About Damn Time is always going to have like a special place in my heart. And also, it's funnier than Your First Million. Like, it's like encompasses all, because it is more of a biography.
Yes, thank you. So much has changed since It's About Damn Time.
Yeah, and so much has stayed the same.
So much has stayed the same.
So much has changed, and so much has stayed the same.
One of the things that being on the inside of watching you through Inner Circle, and then now just observing how you've made major pivots within your business, I think it's teaching us always about keeping our heads on the swivel and staying fresh in our approach to how we run our businesses. Yes. You've made a major shift into community, I would say, as the number one way of building in the last year. And perhaps, I don't know how many people are on school, like how many of us are in the school.
A lot of hands that went up before.
Something just transformed, and I mean, I've walked into this room and saw faces of people who I've only seen digitally.
But you have seen them.
But I've seen them,
yes.
And so why make that huge pivot?
So to me, it's not a huge pivot. It's always been community first. In fact, I've had different corporations want to hire me to run their community side or to figure that part out for them. But it was always, it's a very particular road you have to walk when you're doing venture capital, the way that I was doing it. Everything is scrutinized. Like when I would, tweet out and cuss out some billionaire, in 2016, 2017, I'd have investors write to me privately and say, you need to be quiet, you need to calm down, we don't do that out here. And I was like, who are you talking to? You know that Whitney gif, that Whitney Houston gif where she's like, that was me half of the time in Silicon Valley. But at the same time, I had very specific things that I needed to accomplish in order to have the ability to make moves that I wanted to. So within Backstage, I was already doing the community. We had everything that you see me do out here is what I was doing. That's the most that I was doing. Bringing people together who normally wouldn't be together, helping each other find each other, and using community and content first as leverage and as the lever. So it wasn't for me, it was not a pivot. It was just, I could look back. About a year ago, I stepped down from managing partner of my fund so that I could come back to being an entrepreneur full time and just be in it, because that's what I started out as. I just took this sort of 12-year detour, and I'm still the largest stakeholder at Backstage. I just had a meeting today. We have a monthly meeting, and there's some incredible things happening. We're about to raise a $200 million fund. And now though, it's just like in a business. You're going to run your business for a certain amount of time, but the goal, in my opinion, should be, well, to sell, but also, even if you don't sell, can it be where you're not the bottleneck, you're not the only person running it, everything isn't about you, and you can get sick, or you can take a vacation, or you can take a breath, and it's being run still, and that's really what it was. So I had to look at it and say, look, I could, for the next 5 years, it's like a year and a half ago, I said I could for the next 5 years just go in and take everything that's happened up to this point and just go supernova, and really would help my ego. Really would help my ego. Because I made, all kinds of, I'm going to be the richest black woman. And then, or I could go and just do what I really want to do, which is, now that I have this infrastructure and these people who are so passionate about running Backstage, I can put them on. Because one of the things our meeting was about today, most of it's confidential, but one thing we were talking about was, I have all these speaking engagements that come my way, and I'm just sending them right on over to them, or right over to someone else. And I said, or I could just do what I want. So I'm over here on YouTube I made my first $8 on YouTube, and I almost lost my mind. I was like, oh yes, now we're talking. Because that's where it really started, was how do you how do you use your ingenuity to make something happen? That's why we're all here. If you consider yourself an entrepreneur, it comes from that space.
You said something a couple of years ago that I think has really stuck for me, and I imagine for many of us sitting in this room, around not waiting on an investment, not waiting on VC to be the way that we make money and the way that we grow as entrepreneurs. Why is that so important for us?
Yeah, and it's worded a certain way, not waiting on it. I'm not saying venture capital is wrong or bad. I'm saying it's not for everybody, and that, hey, Dominique. I'm saying it's not for everybody, and also I don't want us waiting on anything, whether it's VC or a boss or someone who thinks that they are supposed to like step on your foot while you walk in, because like step in front of you because they need to take up more space than you do for some reason. I don't want any of that. And with VC, part of it, to be honest with you, is I have been jaded. It has been like I said, it's been a journey. So I've seen the underbelly of Silicon Valley. I've seen the good, the bad, the worst, the ugly. And most of it's like, oh, this is what we're fighting to get into? And because I'm like, no, they don't deserve us. I know we're over here, we deserve what they have, but they don't deserve us. So I think it needs to be a situation where you get to make the option or have the option. And then ultimately, my bigger vision than just venture capital, because venture capital was just a tool. It was just a means to an end to give us more access in a world where we were left out. Bigger picture is everybody in this room matches their salary, beats their salary by being at home, being on a beach, letting me into the yacht, letting me into the party, and whatever that number is for you. It doesn't have to be the $1 billion company. It doesn't have to be the, I'm making millions. It doesn't even have, didn't have to be a million. It's just, what's a number that would be comfortable? I think everybody should know that number. What's that number where if you made that minimum, you have options galore. And it's less stress, not stress-free, because that doesn't exist, but it's less stress. And you have time to think about other things. You have time to open up the creativity, time to breathe. And to me, that is not a venture path at all. That does not exist in venture.
People may look at the intelligence of the ecosystem you've designed and say, Arlan, how do you do it all? Because in this room, I think, if it wasn't last week, you hit 10,000 members.
In your first 5K?
In your first 5K?
Good job, good job, good job, good job.
And when I look at that, and I've watched you build from day one on school to then opening up your ecosystem in that way, how do you manage it all, Arlan?
Okay, so I'll say it like that. How do I say this? So I want to preface it by saying, I don't agree with everything this person says that I'm about to quote. I just heard him say something recently that did resonate with me. I'll say it like that. If anybody has a problem, you tell me. So Tony Robbins, some people love him. Some people have a different, some people don't like him. I don't agree with everything he says. But there was one thing he said that did resonate with me where he talked about, and I'm sure he got it from somebody else, but it's like winter, I'm sure he did. Winter, spring, summer, fall, and like from 0 to 20, you're in spring. Summer is like 23 to 44, 3. And then fall is like 44 to 64 or something. And that is when, like in the spring, you're just, you can do anything. And then summer, you're just building a whole life. Everything is urgent. Everything is like, I'm ambitious and everything. I feel like I did resonate with that because I feel like I just look for calm. Like I'm looking for calm and a little bit simple. It doesn't have to be too simple. So when you talk about the architecture of what I do, I know it seems like a lot, but it really is like, I wish we could do a full-on documentary all day long, but it would just be me going with the laptop like, It's just I follow what I want to do. Now, I have reached that age, and there's a lot of people I know can relate to this, where you just do whatever you want to do for the most part. So I follow that, and I don't want to put on like false modesty, because I think we should all brag and whatever, but I do realize that it is impressive. But I'm telling you, I'm not doing it with this grand plan of, oh, I'm going to have this and that and that. It's more like, what will help the ecosystem? What will I enjoy? What have I learned the last 24 hours that I could now implement? And that's really what it is.
Yeah, it sounds like Ikagi, like you found your perfect.
Ikigai. I call, you probably pronounced it correctly. Okay.
Or not.
Fair.
It sounds like you have found this perfect, well, nothing's perfect.
Right.
But this balance of what I love,
Yep.
what works.
Yes.
And I think you move quickly enough to determine what works.
Oh, speed is, money follows speed. Speed, decision making, doing, trying, testing.
Yeah.
You have to.
You're an iteration queen.
You
and
have to.
I absolutely like really respect that about you. I think a lot of times, some of us, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I can find getting stuck in my head and thinking and ruminating and trying to figure it out. But then I come over to school and I'm like, Arlan's doing another thing.
Yeah.
I got to get to work.
Yeah.
I got to get to work.
Yeah, and I try not, you know, I do a lot of posts. If you're in my memberships, you see I do a lot of posts about overwhelm and about it's your path. I'm trying to don't do everything that I do right now, because you may not be 12 years into the same thing where it makes sense to do that. I'm trying to always go back to what would I do if I were 2 years in or first day in, rather than, you know, I can pick up a phone and call certain people. I can get certain things. I've always had this issue with certain quote unquote gurus who, like educational gurus, who say, oh, do this and do that. And I'm like, but they don't know you have a 20-person team doing half of that, like most of that. So I try to be very authentic and do it, like with AI, for instance, which we will talk about. It's practical AI, hopefully. You know, like it's supposed to be things that you can do without having to have so many resources at your disposal.
Yes. One of the things that I've really loved about this past year is we have our majors, these areas of business.
Arlan's All Access.
With Arlan's All Access, and then the recent share with your AI tools. I think that suite has just changed the game for so many of us.
Does anybody have Stan OS or Lovable OS or YouTube OS? We got one person, two people. Which one do you have? Lovable OS. Oh, really? So you've used Lovable now?
Just last night.
Oh my gosh. How'd you like it?
Amazing.
Isn't it cool? So we're going to talk. We're going to talk. Oh, we're going to talk. Okay.
Okay, I don't want to. Yes, I don't want to go too far.
We'll start to wrap up, and then I'm going to get into some of that AI stuff.
Awesome. I think just
go ahead and pull this up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Just taking us from the origins of It's About Damn Time, and now looking at, you've released 2 books since then, both Your First Million.
One's a playbook and one's a long book.
And the mindset shift that maybe you had from writing for yourself 3 years ago to writing Your First Million live, or Your First Million, and now hosting an event like Your First Million Live. What would you say the biggest shift has been?
Oh, I mean, so much has changed in the world. So much probably changed in the last 30 minutes that I didn't even get to read about. It's no longer about like just keeping up. I'm just gonna stand here, and I'm gonna stay calm as possible. So much, like I said earlier, so much has changed and so much has stayed the same or circled back. I think that's what happened. It circled back. Some progress that was made. We lost a lot of that. I guess the best way I can talk about this is I tend to see things ahead of time. In a lot of cases, not every case, but I tend to see certain things ahead of time and predict them and put them on record, and they kind of turn out. And then I also notice and observe that what is happening kind of in the main street world, like main world, is there's just like this parallel world that we're in. I'm going to do a throwback reference, and I don't know if anybody, Okay, anybody watch SNL here? Because you are in New York. Okay, so you remember, you know the Kate McKinnon one where she's been abducted by an alien? Yeah, okay, anybody does, Kate McKinnon is hilarious, and she's been abducted by an alien, and there's usually a celebrity guest who's also been abducted by an alien, and it's Cecily Strong. And Cecily and the guest just had a magical moment. It was beautiful, and I was put upon a pillow of light. And then she's like, yeah, mine wasn't like that. And she starts to talk about crazy stuff that happens. That's how I feel in the world. I feel like the stuff that we're seeing that's like, oh yeah, you can vibe code it, and you can do this, and you can just, throw your skis in the back and just go and vibe code. And it's like, oh yeah, like ours is gonna look a little different. Our vibe coding is gonna look a little different. There's gonna be like some sort of projectile, like something hitting your head from a child over there, and it's gonna be some boss yelling in your ear. And I just think that because I've never felt like a kinship with certain groups. I guess that's the way to say it. I've always felt like we have to make our own path, basically is what I'm saying. And so Your First Million is about, it's like, the subheading is why you don't have to be born into a legacy of wealth to leave one behind. You see? So it's like, what do you do when you don't have the other stuff that, like, I'm not just picking on a certain book, but like 4-Hour Work Week, I don't really relate to it because it's not relatable to me. So that's really it. Is like, it may not be about the time so much, it just might be timeless because it's about bigger things, themes.
Access.
Yes, access. And etc. Yeah.
Well, I know we're running out of time. I just want to say thank you.
Can you tell you how well Rachel did without knowing she was going to do this? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Rachel.
Yes, thank you.
And then
Arlan.
Angel, can we have you grab the mic here? And then Rachel, see Rachel over here with my mother's eyewear. Did y'all see that? Yeah. Look at this. Everybody look over there.
Try on your pair.
So my mom, I'm going to talk to you about for a second. My mother is 76. That's so true. I was going to say that, but I wanted to be sure. She's 76. She started this eyewear line with Vontel. You can raise your hand. So she started the eyewear line just a couple years ago. 74, 73, they started talking about it. And if you go on our website, it's between $149 and $249, so very accessible. When she does live events, when she flew out from Dallas, she does a $100 special. So I'm telling you, grab them, try them on. I think we have a mirror. I saw one earlier. Try them on, and I'm just gonna be straight. This is her cruise money, y'all. So you want to make sure.
100.
It's her cruise money. Yes. So we gotta set her straight. We gotta set her straight.
We gotta get on that.
So we have a few topics we could talk about, and I want to get a little sense of what people want to hear about. We can discuss. I thought we'd do a little bit of like a mastermind type of thing here. So we have YouTube. Let me just do like a thing. So raise your hand if you want to hear something about it, and then we'll pick what gets the best, to start with. YouTube. Interesting. Okay. AI, practical AI. Ooh, I can't tell which one had more. Maybe a little bit of AI. The Gary Vee thing that happened yesterday? Okay, I'll talk about that next. I'll do that. Okay, and then just sales in general, like how to make sales and all of it. Okay, we're here. Somebody give me a time check when we're about 8:15. Hit me. Somebody, literally don't hit me because I hit back. Okay, so Gary Vee. So I'll talk about that a little bit. Does anybody know who Gary Vee is? Yeah. So I'm just making sure. I'm just advocating for people. I usually know the answer, but I just want to make sure because sometimes people are like, I don't know Gary Vee. Yeah. Okay, so Gary Vee is a very well-known marketer. He runs a company called Vayner, which has, I think he said yesterday, 13 different aspects to it, different subsidiaries. And it brings in about $350 million per year today. And we've known each other several years, but he recently invested in a company called Stan. Anybody know Stan? So you know me, I just reached $300,000 on Stan. Just yesterday. So everybody, Stan, okay? So they had a contest when he invested, and the contest was who can make the most, top 10 people who can make the most money in 2 months, certain period. And I signed up for it, because I'm like, I want to win, So guess what? I won. I was number 3 out of 4,000 people. Yeah, so out of 4,000 people, I was number 3. And it was fun. It was great. Honestly, I did what I normally did. I think maybe the last day I pushed it a little bit, but the rest of it I was like, let me just do what I normally do. And I was top 4 or 5 for the duration, for the most part. So anyway, the winning was, we met with him for his team for a day, which normally costs, that's like a $10,000 thing that you do, that companies do. Met with him, met with the founder of Stan, so John was very, very cool. And then we met with the top 10. And it was a closed door meeting, really good. But when I say closed door meeting, 11 cameras were there, because it's Gary, is what you would think. And like I said, we're friendly. If you were at Your First Million Live, you know that I had him speak there 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. So we're friends, but I didn't tell him I was joining. So there I was, hey. And it was really great. So we had a lot of great takeaways about sales, a lot about, I'll tell you a couple examples of people, what they were selling. So I sell courses, I sell now my operating system, so Stan OS, Lovable OS, Prompt Shop in a Box. Anybody have that? Yeah, Prompt Shop in a Box type thing. And so I'll give you a couple of examples of the other top 10 and a couple of wild cards that were there. One of them I'll talk about first, because this one is just so interesting to me. I met her when I first walked in. She sells hot sauce, homemade hot sauce. And on Stan, you don't sell physical products. You sell, and everybody here bought on Stan, right? You sell virtual one-on-ones, consulting, courses, things like that. So she didn't sell her hot sauce on Stan. She sold a recipe book, a virtual one, about food that you would need hot sauce for. So she went on Instagram and she promoted the book, had her hot sauce, talked about that. Here's some recipes for it, or any hot sauce, because that's how you do it. You don't always have to be selling everything. It's like, this has, these are the best hot sauce recipes. Oh, and I happen to have mine. So people would get the book, and then inside of the book, and this is what I teach you, inside of the book, it also linked to how you get the hot sauce. So if anybody here have a physical product that they sell? Yeah, so if anybody here has a physical product and you're wondering how you might translate that to online, to virtual, that was just so interesting. And so she, for the contest, sold about 100, so $2,700. And she was a wild card. They chose a couple people. And then ultimately she sold 300. And that's in counting. That's since October. So she sold 300, what is that, $7,100, give or take? Maybe, yeah. And so I was just anybody fascinated by that? I was fascinated by it. And so then we had people who were salespeople who had done real estate, who'd done consulting, high ticket things. There was a woman there who had 6 children, and she was happy. She was a delightful person. I don't know how that. I was sitting across from her. I was like, wait, how? I know. Yeah, I know. My brother has 6 children, so yeah. And he's delightful too. But he has six children. They're all quite young. And she was in 6-figure debt. And about a year into, do we have a couple seats? Do we have a couple seats? So we can make room. So there's some room over here. Yeah. She had 6-figure debt. Welcome. And within a year on Stan, she was able to turn that around. And what she did, okay, let me tell you what she did. I think hers is pretty fascinating. What she did was, is an interior decorator, and she had been trying to sell interior decorating consulting. And the way I understood it was that was not really catching on. Maybe the price was off for people, or maybe that wasn't a pain point, wasn't a pain, painful enough for people. So she created with AI where you could go in and upload a few pictures and then see what your space might look like. And there was a guide too. There was a guide of just like, you put these colors together and you do these things. And really simple. I'm not saying it was easy, but simple. She sold it for, I don't know how much she sold it for, probably 90 something. And she was, if she wasn't number one, I think she was number one. I think she was the top of all of them. I did 125K, so I know she must have done like $150,000 in 2 months off of one product, virtual. One product. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm sitting in that room yesterday, and I'm like, there's just one product that's just going to change it for somebody, and they have to do it. They have to experiment. They have to stop saying I don't want to put myself out there. Like, what's the alternative? Is there a way? And I know there's privacy issues too, but there are ways. There are ways to get out there. And what did she do? She promoted on YouTube, and she promoted on Instagram. And different people are going to have different modes and platforms that are going to work better for them. But the person who did the hot sauce recipe book, it was all Instagram reels, 30-second reels. Let me just demonstrate. If you have something that's physical, show it. Walk us through it. Spin it around. Talk about it. Do it over the shoulder. Do whatever you can with your phone. If you have something that is not physical, can you open up? Can we get on Zoom or something and just show you walking through it? Like, I do that all the time, right? Like on my YouTube channel, I'm going to open up StanOS. I'm going to open up ChatGPT and open up Lovable and show you how to vibe code, show you how to vibe code a landing page so that you can see it and then you can imagine yourself doing it. Or sometimes I say, do this with me. And then you have the information. Now, would you like to have all the prompts that you need? Would you like to have step-by-step instruction? Would you like to have the 4 workshops that I did that are 6 hours, total? $99, that'll get you there, and that'll take you much further. By the way, it's a much more expensive product for $99. That's a whole different story, but that is the play. Is that making sense? Like, that is, and I know it sounds simple, but what I found yesterday was that simple one out. There was nobody in that room yesterday, in my opinion, who was doing something that was just groundbreaking. What did they have in common? They did it. Like, they did it. And one of them was really funny. The hot sauce woman, she said it took six of 8 calls, because Gary did these calls every week, and 6 of 8 weeks, she finally started on the 6th week. So every week she would just go to the virtual, and she would listen for 2 hours, and Gary's yelling at her, and she said it was funny. It was a funny exchange. I'm sure they got on film, but basically Gary said that what he did is every week he took on a different persona. One week it was tough love. One week it was just like, oh, everything's beautiful. One week it was like fear. He just did, because he said, I'm gonna get everybody. I'm gonna find whoever needs to see this. And she said that 6th week, when he just threw his hands up in the air and he said, don't do this if you're not gonna do it. I'm done. So what she did was she went on Instagram and she said, Gary V's gonna kick me out of this contest if I don't sell. And it worked. So that was one of the reels that actually got her traction. So you can do that if you want to. You say Gary V if you want to. I don't know, but you can say like, I'm in your first 5K. We're having, we're trying to see who can make, sell the most, whatever. And I'm in this contest. Obviously, would love to do that. But you can blame it on somebody else. You can something else is happening, or if something is happening, it's a certain. Like the Super Bowl is coming up, or it's a certain season, or graduation, or whatever. One of the things that was recommended was like almost anything can be tied to Valentine's Day, even if it sounds silly. So whatever you're working on, it's like how can that tie to that? But you can tie it to almost anything. So if you want to give yourself like a sprint, tie it to something. Speaking of time, do not have time to go into all the pitfalls of AI. We're going to all agree that there are some pitfalls to AI. We all agree with that, right? And some people do not like AI. Understood. Okay? But for now, for our purposes right now, the practical AI. Okay, raise your hand if you use ChatGPT. Everybody, almost everybody. Raise your hand if you have used Lovable. Yes. Okay. Somebody tell me what they've built on Lovable. Denise, what have you built on Lovable? Where's Angel?
A couple of landing pages.
A couple of.
And of course, that's because of you.
Yeah.
It's just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not a techie to just have something amazing just pop up.
Everybody who didn't raise their hand on Lovable, which is a AI platform where you type in a few words or sentences or put in a prompt that's already pre-made, prompt being that sentences and instruction, and it makes something for you. It doesn't just answer a question, it'll make like a sales page or a lead magnet or some sort of calculator or tool. And the more you work with it, the more robust it can become. So a lot of the things that I have that I sell were built on Lovable, and a lot of things that I use internally, I use on Lovable. So you've built, give an example of what you built.
So I have a landing page for my cleaning business.
Yes.
And there's an option for pricing, and it's just beautiful actually. It actually created a photo as though it was an apartment that I cleaned, which was also mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then on the back end, just figuring out how to link it all up.
Yeah, and so there is that.
It's super easy.
It's super easy to get like 80% of what you want on it. I call it getting paint on canvas. So anything your mind can imagine or anything that you're missing and you need, you can ask it to make. It does cost money. It costs like $20 a month or $25.
Super reasonable.
Yeah, it's very reasonable for what it does, just like I think ChatGPT. And then what you do is, like, this is what I say just in general about all these monthly fees. First of all, just choose one or two, right? But don't worry about, oh, it costs this much for the year. Think about what those 30 days, what could you do in those 30 days? I made on Lovable what I call a GPS, not a GPT, but a GPS, like when you navigate. And it is what, a 5 or 6 question quiz that is based on what we learned yesterday, specifically, so they understand the language. Anybody could get benefit from it, but they learned. And I just sent it to them, 12 people. And you answer the questions, and then it gives you really custom what to do next. It's a diagnostic. And it took me maybe 30 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes to do it to a point where I could put it in the group chat for them to use. And I just wanted them to have it. And they were like, this is incredible. And I'm like, well, any of us could have done that. But it's now I call it being like Iron Man. Now every move you make, every kind of thing is so much more leveraged because of these tools we have. So there are so many AI tools, and they're all updating every other day. And you know, we're at ChatGPT 5.2. It's going to be 52 pretty soon. In my opinion, don't try to keep up necessarily. Just be aware and choose one or two of your faves. Let that be your thing. Oh, I use ChatGPT and I use Lovable. Or I use Pixel. Anybody use Pixels? I know I talk about Pixels all the time. So Pixels makes your thumbnails. Anyway, on YouTube, highly recommend. Just choose one or two. What are people using other than ChatGPT? Perplexity and Claude, right? Sora. Oh yeah, Sora, right? Yeah, careful. Sora is, it's incredible. I did with Sora, I was like, I'm not gonna mess with it. I have so much to learn. I go into Sora, and what happens on New Year's, okay, so let's say starting December 12th, if somebody reaches out, which is all day long, I'll say, catch me next year, like reach out next year. And what happens every single year for the past 10 years is New Year's Day. Here they come. So what I did on Sora was I had a black woman sitting at the window with the Times Square thing going down, and I said, basically y'all every year, whatever, and it was just like 3, 2, 1, and then she starts typing an email to me. She said next year. So Sora, it makes videos, images. I mean, there's Higgsfield. There's so many different ones. Gemini. But I would say if you're saying, okay, what are a couple of things I could use that'll help me right now? I'm going to tell you right now. I think that is ChatGPT, tried and true all day, and Lovable. I just think it'll help you build, because Lovable, yes, can build sales pages. We've seen that. I have sales page prompts for everybody. Some of them are in our classrooms. Some of them are behind paywalls. But what I love about it is that it builds the deliverables. So remember we were talking just a few minutes ago about Stan and selling stuff on Stan? Do you know that every single one of us could go into Lovable right now and build what the lady who won the contest built by talking to Lovable for a few minutes and perfecting or optimizing it for a few hours? So let me get an example. Somebody tell me something that you have wanted to build, or just some tool that you would sell, or something like, I do XYZ and I'd like to have something. Anybody have an idea? Yes, young lady.
I want to sell makeup products.
You want to sell makeup products. Wonderful. So that's wonderful. What's your name?
Bella.
Bella. Oh, Bella's makeup. So you could have, with your parents' permission, you could have a page that showed people what they look like in your makeup. Or a page that simply showed what colors match with different skin tones. Or this is what you do when you're going out, and this is what you're doing when you're going to the store, and this, different things. Yeah, so that's where you could start. And then other people who are not going to go into Lovable and make that, and who need that, would say, okay, I'll pay $17 for that. Yeah. And so you build once, and then it's leveraged. Build once, and it becomes leveraged. Make sense? Do we have any other examples of which one? You had your hand up. Yes, Dominique. Yes, I did, and I said your name as well. Oh.
I built something, and it was originally a lead magnet, and it was part of the Sprint.
Yeah.
It was a resource library for parents of neurodivergent children to get resources to find out about neurodivergence and disability. And I ended up selling it for $1,500.
What'd she say? Y'all heard her? $1,500? She sold it for $1,500. It was going to be a free lead magnet, but she sold it because everybody asked me, well, especially with the prompts, they're like, why would people pay for this? Convenience. Do we have a chair? Can we have a chair for? Yeah, over here there's a few. Yeah. Convenience, speed, access. And most importantly, or at least most interesting to me, is that everybody here can imagine somebody who's a friend of theirs or a family member who ain't going into Lovable, right? If you say to them, oh, I want this, and you say, well, you should make it in Lovable. Everybody here knows somebody who's going to be like, I love a hoe. I'm not going into the AI. Everybody knows somebody. Yeah. Into the AI? Yes, it's a scam. That's how they get you. Who gets you? So there are always going to be more people who are not willing to do that, or who just simply, it's not bad. It's just like, that is not of interest to me. Or I was never told that was a possibility, but because you're in this room, you know there's a possibility. So I would go to Lovable. It's Lovable, LOVABLE.dev, I think. But you can look it up on Google. I would go in. It has a few credits you can use for free just to test it. Just type in any old thing that is interesting to you. In order to publish it, you do have to become a paying member. Worth it if the thing that you tested is interesting enough. Does anybody have any ideas that are coming to mind? Yes?
I have been working on an eBook for what seems like forever.
Yeah, eBook. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is a tool that could help with some part of, well, I already have the framework and the content, but actually
100%, of course. So I have a 50-page guide that is a freebie that I give out, how I made $100,000 on Stan the first time. And it took me a while to build it, but when I say a while, I mean a day. Right. Except for the year and a half, other than the year and a half you've been working on it. So you could go into Lovable tonight. You get home. If you have access, you can use it on your phone. You can use it on laptop. And you just type in when you first get to the first page, I'm working on an ebook. Build me this ebook. Give it anything that you can, any kind of reference points that you have. Go over to ChatGPT for free. Type in a few things and say, I'm about to go over to Lovable. Give me a prompt for it. Save some credits. Go over to ChatGPT and say, I'm about to go and build in Lovable. Give me the perfect prompt that would make what I want happen faster. One second. And then do it. And then let it do it. And then it's going to pull up something, and you're probably going to say, oh, I don't know if I like the color. Well, I'm going to say Rembrandt. I don't know anything about Rembrandt. I don't know why I said it, but I'm going to type in, change the color, change the font. I'd like it to look more like this and that and the other. And you absolutely not only can have the ebook itself as a deliverable, you could sell it, so you sell it on Stan. When somebody orders it, you can set up on Stan order confirmation, give them the link. There are a few things to learn about it. That's why I have Lovable OS, because I just take you through every step of it. Like, oh, you have to go in here and say you don't want it to say made by Lovable, if you want to toggle that off, and this is how you give it a name and publish it. It's a couple things, but it's not tough, right, Denise? It's not hard to do that part. So there's that, and then there's a little bit more complex stuff. But all of my OSs, all the ones that I'm referring to, the Lovable OS, Stan OS, YouTube OS, were built on Lovable. It's just where my imagination could go. And I will say they're a little bit more complex than most of the things that I see, but it's because it started with something simple, and then I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I was like, oh, it actually will keep going. It's inexhaustible, and it's just my imagination of where I want it to go. But I think, because it costs credits, you want to be smart about how you're prompting it. But it can really, yes, you had a question, Angela?
It's related to that. I have an ebook that I'm writing with ChatGPT, who I call Chatty.
Yeah.
So Chatty and I are writing this ebook.
Okay.
So with that, because I'm not on the others, what do I do with that? Will the Lovable actually place it into like a nice visual, or? Yeah,
it can do a couple of things. So the ebook itself, you could say, build this as an ebook style. I want users to be able to flip through it, or I want users to be able to XYZ, and make it as close to, and if you can give it a reference, that's always helpful. Because there's like that one site, I forgot what it's called, but it does flip through books. Yeah, so I want a flippable type of landing page that takes this, and what you're doing is either feeding the ebook itself into there. You can even upload a PDF. You can do all kinds of stuff. Or you're saying, I have the germination or the germ of the idea. Flesh it out for me. And now Lovable has its own AI and cloud now, so it can do even more unique, robust thinking.
Could I put my own photographs there?
Your photograph, oh yeah. Speaking of photograph, something else I built in Lovable. Anybody use this photo restorer that I have? So I have a photo restorer that I made in Lovable for fun. And now it's like a freebie. And what it was is I wanted to restore, my mom sent some pictures over and I wanted to restore it. And there are a lot of restoration, but I went over and it was like, you have to pay this and that and the other. And I was like, oh, I'm sure, I just want to make it. So I'm just going to make it. And so I went over to Lovable and I said, make a photo restorer that if I upload the picture, it enhances it. So I did it, and the first iteration it gave me didn't really work. So I said, I want to use more robust. I will use the heck out of that word with AI. I want it more robust. It works. I said, I want more robust enhancement. I want it to look really good. So I said, okay, we'll connect you to Gemini 3. All right, thanks. So some of these that take up really intense AI, they do have like credit, you have to pay a little bit more. But the point of that is, now I take the charge, I pay for it, and there have been thousands of people who have used my photo restore in the past 3 months. I did it for fun, but imagine I was a photographer, I was someone who did a genealogy, I was someone who did anything. People are like getting their whole lives using this thing. Their dad, when they was 14, I've never seen a picture of him like that, and it's restored. You could either set it up to charge per picture or for credits. You could have it free, but what I do is I put a banner across the top and say, hey, do you want to go over here and get this thing? It's these free lead magnets, so you're always having, you have the ability to create these projects. So when I come back to 300 projects, that's what I'm talking about. Different things, a landing page or a freebie or a deliverable. And I think the deliverables are the ones that I'm most excited about now, because I'm like, oh, like the sky is the limit now. I can whip up something in about an hour. And when I say an hour, like you type in the prompt, in about 5 to 7 minutes, you'll have the first draft. And it's a full-on page. Here's another thing. Speaking of cruises, mother, she's queen of cruises. We were on our cruise. They introduced me to cruising. I think that's the word. Maybe I shouldn't say that. They introduced me to going on cruises. Okay. And we were on a private beach because we were in the MSC Yacht Club or whatever. So we're on a private beach, and someone sends me an email, because I do check my email stuff, whatever. They sent me an email and they said, something isn't letting me sign in on one of my Lovable pages. And I was like, oh no, you can't have that. Take my phone out, go to Lovable. Usually I'm on my laptop with it. I take my phone out, I go to Lovable. I say, hey buddy, she can't get in. Let me think about that for a moment. It's fixed. I email her 60 seconds later, it is fixed. She doesn't know I'm sitting on one of those little lounges looking at the water. Fixed it with my thumbs. It's just like there's just so many possibilities. You can be I think you can be like a even better entrepreneur, because you have more. So going back, all the way throwback to time. If you have 30 minutes a day, could you find 15 minutes a day? You can really crank, and like a week later you have something. Yeah. That wasn't the case a year ago. It wasn't the case. It is now. And in this room, you know more than 99.99999% of people in the world, because there are 8 billion plus people. You know more about Lovable now after 15 minutes. And you have, if you haven't played with it yet, in 24 hours, you can know even more than that. And it's the closest thing to a meritocracy I know. And everybody's talking about, oh, it's merit-based. Venture capital is merit-based. No, it's not. But this potentially is. Not everybody has access to internet. Not everybody has access to a laptop, a phone, smartphone. There's a lot going on in the world, and I know that. We all know that. But this is closer to anything I know, is this AI. Anybody have any questions about that?
My name is Dr. O.
Yeah.
I'm the bold coach, so I'm very comfortable with the mic.
Okay.
But my question is, how do you justify what's free, what's really small cost? I know you talked about earlier that there's a larger value behind some of the workshops you've done and things like that, but you put it at a lower cost for entry. So can you talk a little bit more to that fact?
First of all, I think if you think about it this way, it's like your lead magnet. When I say lead magnet, everybody understands what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So your lead magnet should feel like it's something the person would have paid for. Like that should just be it all day. Your lead magnet, if you were doing like a blind taste test sort of thing, you should not be able to know what is a lead magnet and what is a paid product. That's why Dominique's product was able to turn into a paid product, because it should it should be so valuable that people understand how much authority you have in that area, or if you're learning, how you're a step ahead of them. So that's one thing, is like just thinking through that everything should cost something. I just get to choose what doesn't cost something that day or that time, that project. When it comes to like what I price things at, this is one of those things where we were talking earlier with Rachel. This is one of those things where you don't necessarily need to do exactly what I'm doing with pricing, because I am being 100% honest with you. This is no hype. I mostly price things that I could sell for thousands of dollars to certain doctors who want to get into YouTube or whatever. I know I can do that. And my goals are different. My goals are more accessibility, but I'm not going to give everything away for free, because people will just have a bunch of stuff stacked up that they never look at and use. And I also want to be an example of like charge for it. Right. So while it is usually not as expensive as it should be, there's a reason behind that. I also think, like you go back and forth between, should I do high ticket? Should I do low ticket? Should I do mid ticket? It's all like experiment, and there is no right or wrong answer. It's just like, what do you want to do sustainably? Like, what do you want to really do? On the high ticket, yes, you're getting more money, but you have to be usually more hands-on. So I would say everybody should at least have the ability to have a version of your offer that can go high. So like, let's say lady with the hot sauce selling a $27 ebook or recipe book. She doesn't have this, I don't believe, but she could have, there was something happening. Okay, so she could have, there's a $1,200 retreat that we're doing where I'm going to teach you how to cook these 4 dishes that you can take home. And there's going to be a certain city, a certain group of people, a certain whatever that resonates with that. That's like, I'm bored, or that would be amazing to be able to do that for this reason, because especially if you can niche down. So if you have that, then you can then make the decision about what you're doing with it. So it's not, I'd have to know a little bit more to be able to tell you more precisely about yours, but when I think about pricing, I have something that costs nothing. I have something that costs a few dollars. 99 is like, works really well for my group. 99. I've tried $199, $299, $49, $99. That's the number. But I also have something that costs $6,000. Like Inner Circle today costs $6,000. Anybody who's interested, come see me. We only have a couple of spots. But that's, it's just $25,000 product or service that is $6,000. But I also have, if you're a corporation, I have $100,000 offers, right? I have, if you are, what's happening more and more now are like celebrities are reaching out to me, and like in the last couple of years, for something. They see something, I want you to help me build a fund, or I want you to help me angel invest, or I want you to help me figure out how to monetize other than the acting or the music. That is something where it's like, then you start thinking about like rev share. And that could be 7 figures over a certain amount of time. So there's always, what my point is, you should always have in your back pocket for the person you're about to meet. Does that make sense? I know I said a lot. Does that make sense? It's just like there's no perfect answer, but your thing should be able to flex up and down. Because there's always a version that could be a different price. Do you mean like
ask,
building a company that would
based
do
off
that?
of your
Or
experience
when you say my own
with
server?
AI, have you seen any benefits from doing something like internally, like on your own server, versus the things that you were talking about with like Lovable?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Maybe we did. Maybe you guys didn't talk about that. I came late, but I've been studying how to put large language models on actual servers so that you could pretty much create your own custom GPT using your own data sets.
It's almost like blockchain sort of thing, like the same kind of idea, right? So my personal answer is I really like the practical AI lane. Obviously, I've invested in more than 200 tech companies, and it's a whole thing. But I personally love the practical AI lane, which is lovable. It's squeezy. I can go and type into it, and it's cute, right? But I have like a whiteboard video where I talk about there's different levels to this. There's levels to this, and I think that if that curiosity is there, and obviously there's some sort of talent there, you should run for it. Like, you're the person who should be diving deeper into this. We need more people representing us to be asking those questions, to be doing those things. I just personally don't have an interest in it because I'm practicing what I preach. I follow the interest.
I know you're not from New York, but I do a lot of like community service. So one of the bigger things is like really just understanding the needs and how to fill them. So I was thinking about this and utilizing the AI to analyze the data. Yeah. So, yeah.
There's so many things that AI is going to be capable of. Yeah, and so thank you. So if there's anybody who's interested in having that conversation, you should. Like, those are people who should link up. I'm like, let me talk to this. There's a 20% I have on the whiteboard. It's like 20% who are going to be just what you're talking about and beyond. And then there's 20% that I feel like we are, which is like a bridge to the people who don't use it at all, don't care to use it, don't want to use it. We are that bridge, and that's kind of where I think a lot of opportunity is. But there's more money and opportunity where you are, like higher price tag, if you want to be there. Yeah. And it sounds like you also want to do it from an altruistic way too, which is really important, absolutely important. Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Arlan, for being here. To kind of just jump off of what you were speaking to, and actually touching into, it's about damn time. It reminds me from page, like, if folks have the chance later on, check out page 67 and page 69, where Arlan's talking about siphoning, your privilege, siphoning, and using that to basically do what you did with Melissa Bradley. You brought her to the stage at South by Southwest so that it's not just, that one person on the stage, and then, bringing other people into the mix. So I live my life as a person who lives with ADD, and I've been able to channel that ability to create partnerships for nonprofits and the like. So this is kind of like a call to action, where if folks are interested in collaborating, and just basically that's just kind of a call to action, coming together to essentially, siphon our privileges. I would love to, talk, and then also to learn from you, Arlan, more. I've been following, you and your work for a minute. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a wonderful idea. That's why I'm having these, by the way, if anybody's interested, because you all, I need you to talk to each other online, talk to each other here, and find those common interests, and all the things I say that other people are not paying attention to, be that for us. If we're not catching something, help us. So that I think it's a really great idea.
What you were saying about Lovable sounds really fascinating to me, because I need to create a website for a business that I'm developing. But one of the concerns that I have is whether or not, what's the likelihood that somebody else is trying to do something very similar to what I'm doing, because they say no thoughts are original, and that they go into Lovable and ask for something that is very similar to what I ask Lovable to do, and then I find out that there's another site that looks very much like mine.
So I've been sober since 2017, but how many whiskeys are there? How many? And somebody in here knows the numbers. We need to get you some help. How many of anything is there? So a lot of people would say, a lot of, serial entrepreneurs would say that has just validated your idea because it is out there, and especially if they're selling it. Great. Be better. Be better. Be different. Be faster. Be more niche. So that's why like there's you know how everybody has their own fingerprint?
Yes.
It's never gonna be, it's like snowflake, whatever. It's never gonna be exactly because there's only one you. So you're gonna come in and put your thumbprint on it and just be better. Now, the market will then tell you if they want more of that. But it's also your job to find the niche. Because it could be, like, give me an example of what you're working on.
I do contemporary multimedia relief art. So I do art pieces. Each one is unique. They're handmade. A similar type art. So it's like the pages end up looking very similar, like a
a commodity to you? You know what I'm saying? I'm being serious. What about that do you think can be replicated easily?
Well, not so much my art, but that it's positioned the same way that somebody else that does, you know.
I'll say this. Oh yeah, I'll say this. How many Facebook pages are there? Again, millions. They look the same. How many schools are there? 200,000. They look the same, but what's in it? What's the behind it? And you're bringing people to you. So be a heat seeker for your people, for your ideal customer, your avatar. You can have somebody sitting next to you that has exact same sales page maybe. One thing you could do is just switch it up a little bit, and if you've seen something else, say, oh, that's too close to something else. Because sometimes I'll say to Lovable, it looks too generic. I need it to look really different, and that's when you see some crazy stuff that I put out. But I think your creative mind, when you apply that leverage to a Lovable, you might be able to talk to it in a way that we can't, so that it's just sitting there waiting to be challenged. I think it hasn't been really challenged yet. So you go in and say, I want the sparkulation of the da 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 da. You know, like what was that episode of Lovecraft Country where they were in space and they were there? I was like, who thought, where? You know, because I know, but you know, who? So like, I think that is where the magic is in you just like pushing it to the limit of, this looks like everything else I've seen. I want it to look different. You know what else you can do in Lovable? I forgot to mention. You can say, what are 3 or 4 things I could do to make this look different? Or what are 3 or 4 things I'm missing that I could add to make this even more valuable for my end user? Right? Yes? Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to make sure someone else might have one. Yes, sir, in the back, standing.
My name is Zindua Tambuzi. So I have a question about Harmosi.
Okay.
I'm still happy about the bundle you sent out. I'm still smiling at that and looking at how many other things you've created. Yeah. How do you compare your going to that event, because you won there too, and the Stan event?
Oh, beef. I like it. I like it. So actually, you know what's interesting about that? So Hormozi is another marketer, salesperson. He just made $100 million in 3 days, casually. And I won one of their contests. You know what's interesting? Yesterday, we all had a chance to stand up with Gary. And I've known Gary for years, but so I kind of skipped my turn. I said, everybody else should go first. But I thought of something, and I stood up, and they were filming it. It's going to be like clipped. And I used my question to say to him, you know, you see Hormozi make 103 million in 3 days. You see Mr. Beast doing what he's doing. You see, for better or for worse, the Paul brothers. You see all these people. Every single one of them has been in your office at one point or another, and you've consulted them. I just wanted to know his take on, like, does it make him? I don't know. It wouldn't make him jealous, but I'm like, does it? How do you feel about that? Do you feel proud of that? Do you feel a little bit like you've been left out of the narrative, et cetera? So I was even bringing that conversation into that room yesterday. How do they compare? It's hard. It's a little difficult for me because I feel so comfortable talking to people like that. So to me, it's like, that's Gary and that's Hormozi, and I'm here and that's just great, cool. You know. So it's not like I think they both have a lot to offer the entrepreneur. and they both are really, 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 like almost like politicians, where they have to repeat themselves so much that it's second nature to them. Like they have an answer for everything, and you know, it's at the highest level for what they do. Yeah. So I don't have a really strong, so not like one was better than the other or something like that. I don't have like a really strong opinion of it. Yes.
What about the people that they gathered? You guys
The people that they gathered.
winning on each side.
Yeah. I like winning stuff. I'm really competitive. The people that they gather, I think, yeah, let me think about that. I think there's similar people that could have been in either room. I find all of the ones, at least the ones that I've been around, to be pretty nice, and like, you know, I'm rooting for them, and they seem to be ambitious. Everybody is. I'm always the oldest person in the room though. At 45, I'm always the oldest person in both of those rooms, except for Gary, of course. He just turned 50. But I mean of the audience. Yeah. So I found that yesterday was true. I thought, oh, that's interesting. And that was true at the last school games that I went to. So I don't know, like everybody who's walking around, I'm like, oh, they could be my child. Great. I don't have kids, thankfully. Do we have any questions? Yes.
Hi, Arlan. First of all, I want to thank you for coming to New York City in the cold like this and sharing your knowledge and expertise. I create print-on-demand products, and I sell them in the Etsy shop, and I'm going to set up another website that I can sell through also. What I find challenging and overwhelming is the marketing. How to market products.
I would just say that I think Gary made a really interesting point yesterday, and he's the guy to know this. He said it's going to be about 5 or 7 good years of being able to do what we can do today when it comes to just saying, oh, I want to be on YouTube. Now I can be in front of billions of people if I want to. Oh, I want to start an Instagram for free. Oh, I want to do this. So he was imploring us, and I was there already, but he was imploring us all to really take content seriously. So let me tell you, what did you say you did? Print on demand. Okay, home decor. You, art and apparel, you sitting at a desk, showing your wares, telling the story of how this came to be, I bet would be fascinating. 5-minute, 3-minute, 60-second, 20-minute YouTube video, 60-second, could be turned into a 60-second reel on Instagram. You have all that you need for the marketing because the platforms are there. They already exist and they are prime. They want to keep people on that platform, so they're ready for you. And most of them are optimizing for new people signing up. It no longer matters how many subscribers you have. Is anybody hearing me? It no longer matters how many followers you have or subscribers. What matters is its interest-based algorithm. On Instagram, on Threads, you agree? Yeah, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, it's about what that particular piece of content is about. It's going to reach somebody. Anybody ever put up a short on YouTube and it gets 500 views overnight and you're like, what? I don't have but 4 subscribers. I don't know how that happened. It's because it's interest-based. And shorts has a little bit different algorithm than the longs, but still, it's interest-based. So you could make, let's say you get a camera or you get your phone or somebody records you 20 minutes. And all it is you are just taking something and you're showing it and you're showing it and showing it. That's one way. And then you take maybe 12 minutes of that, upload it as a long form. We'll talk, I talk about thumbnails and titles and all that. All that stuff is teachable. Then you put a couple of clips up, and maybe let's say over time you have 10 short videos, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You have kind of the right thing going, and you have a place for people to buy stuff for you. You have a Shopify or something like that. Over time, you could hit the right note And it may be in the glasses you're wearing that day. It could be your dreads. It could be the product that you have. It could be the right word that was said. Something could take off. Now, another thing I want you to really consider, and it's going to probably sound a little scary, but it's also kind of, you would know this, QVC. You know QVC? Yeah. We now have QVC in our pocket. We have Instagram Live. We have TikTok Shop. We have whatnot. And when I filmed an indie talk show earlier last year, I had my West Coast makeup artist. Thank you. Thank you. I had my makeup artist who does, when I'm in LA, does my makeup. And she is Erykah Badu's makeup artist. Okay? She did the Vogue cover, she did the Met Gala, she did all that. And she was on it. There's a video of it on my YouTube channel. And what she does is, if you imagine Erykah Badu, it's her sister basically. She's got the dreads all up, she has every finger has a ring on it, she's dripping with, it's just antique and this and that. She goes on maybe once or twice a week on her Instagram, and she lights a candle and some incense, and she's just taking people through. This is a bangle that I got in Costa Rica. This is a da-da-da. And she says, I treat it like my QVC. And she said during COVID, it saved her from going under because she didn't get work because people weren't traveling. So she just got on there. And, that was Instagram, and TikTok is a whole nother world, depending on what you're doing. But you could just get on there live. Instagram more so than a YouTube live, because Instagram is going to put you in front of more people faster. But you could just do that. And the thing is, most people won't do that. They'll hear it. They'll say, oh, that's interesting, but they won't do it. And if they do it once or twice and it doesn't do anything or move any product, they'll stop. But what if you said, I'm going to try this for 60 days, and I'm going to do it once a week, and I'm going to do it no matter how many people show up, even if it's 0. I'm going to do it, because what if on the other side of that is something? What if I found something? So there's not like the marketing best practices that I'm thinking of that is like traditional. It's the fact that in your pocket, you have access to all this distribution for free. And all it is now is about interest and personality. I can tell from talking to you for seconds that you have personality, a history, something that is going to reach through the camera and resonate with somebody. That's why I asked my mother, that's why we always talking with Angel and Alfred, always talking about what is it that we can show off a personality and build a product around that.
Hello, my people. We've been talking a lot about digital products and the recipe book and all of these things. I have a group of girlies up here. I have 6 of we call ourselves our caviar queens. And one in particular, Rhonda, who also raised her hand, she is like the master connector. She's a youth advocate. So we want to, how can we use some of these strategies, your YouTube, the school, Lovable, all of these things. We spoke for an extensive period of time last night to work through the website. But how do we use it for other things? For organizing, she's a fundraiser. We have all of these other things that we do that feel outside of this. And I think Rhonda may want to finish up that question because this is about her.
We're going to go right to the gentleman, and then we'll come back to. But before we do it, I'm going to answer. If anybody, I think there's a Wi-Fi code somewhere here, but if anybody has access, like they're reaching Google or whatever right now, somebody just go to Lovable on their phone.
Yeah, why not?
Just go to Lovable on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, give me just a second. Yeah. Go to Lovable on your phone and just type in, I have a community event and I'd like to have a page where people can sign up. I have a community event, and like I just did this the other day. I have a community event, and I'd like to take all the users through a quiz where they can understand where they are and see if the event is right for them. You know what I'm saying? Like anything you can imagine, and if you can't imagine it, head on over to ChatGPT and say, I have a community event. I want to use Lovable. What are 5 ideas? What are 50 ideas that I could use that would be the most leveraged, right? And then and they say, 15 ideas, and then you choose one. You say copy it, and then you paste it, and then
what's the
it puts that paint on canvas. So there's no limit to, just like with school, like there's no limit to what it could be about. You can do it for consulting. Yeah, you we'll come back. We'll come back if you here. give me anything, I can tell you what you can make
We'll come right
unlovable,
back.
and I'm only scratching the
Yes.
surface.
What's the comment that you had on that? He has some answers.
Actually, I think I'm gonna just wrap it
Okay.
I think this is gonna help a lot of people kind of go back to what lately was putting it all in the art and a bunch of other things like.
What are we going for?
With the AI, it's really, really, really easy. Actually, I think I'm gonna just wrap it all into one because I think this is gonna help a lot of people. It kind of goes back to what the lady was saying about the multimedia
then they
art
become easy
and
skills.
a bunch of other things. Like with the AI, it's really, really, really easy for you to make it give you instructions so you
Yeah.
can learn
All
the
day long.
hard skills in order to utilize the AI even better, right? So point taken. I was actually going to ask you, how do you talk to ChatGPT, or do you talk to ChatGPT to learn more things? Because I've been a strategic planner for a long time, and it's taught me a whole lot more about what I do.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I cuss it out a lot. It started to try to cuss me out, and I said, Yeah. No, what I try to do is say, okay, where do I think the very, very, very beginners are in the room? Where do I think the more advanced people are in the room? And where can I find the middle ground and speak to that? So anytime I'm talking about it, especially with time constraint, it's just to try to find, where can I find that place where most people feel like they're not left behind in the conversation? And then encourage you and implore you to use your imagination and press the boundaries even further. But the way I use it is, I do have that GIF of Charlie Day, and he has like this, and there's like stuff behind him, and he's like everything is pinboarded, and there's string going to different things, or like Winona Ryder with, all of that, or like the numbers going on. I use ChatGPT like it's electricity or water. Like I use it all day, and there's so many things. And some of those things I do get on video, like doing deep research with it to then turn the deep research into the product, because the deep research informs the product that most people are not going to be thinking about. And then one thing I think is pretty practical, and I said it in front of another group and they enjoyed it, so I think it would help, is when you take something, let's say somebody just yell out what they do. What is it? Management consultant. Okay, something even more specific, so it's like lawyer, a chef. Nurse, I love it all. Okay, I'm just gonna take the chef just because it's easier in my head, but it could be for anything. So think about especially if it's gonna be for your, something that you wanna have as a product, you go to ChatGPT and you say, even if you know the answer, you say, what are the 10 steps to becoming a nurse? Like let's say you decided, I wanna teach other people how to become a nurse, or I wanna teach burnt out nurses how to do XYZ, right? So you say, what are the 10 steps to becoming a nurse? And then ChatGPT is gonna tell you 10 steps. Go to any of those steps, and including number 1, and then say, isolate it and just say, what are the 10 steps for doing this one? And then it's going to start to really expand. It's like, oh, that's interesting. That's right. I did do that 15 years ago. I forgot. That's interesting. Or this is what it is now. And guess what? You can even do it again. What are the 10 steps of number 2? And then what you've done is you opened up 10 lead magnets, 10 product ideas. You're not going to do them all, but you've opened up oh, and I do this. So I've done this with what are the 10 steps for starting a business? What are the 10 steps for the first step of ideation? And then those, it's oh my gosh, I could just use this list for the rest of my life, and I wouldn't be able to go through it and capture everything. And that is what helps me think through, okay, we probably need to have a dashboard that has the prompt that you could just copy and go to Lovable, which you have on Lovable OS. You just type in what you're doing. It makes the perfect prompt for you to use on Lovable, and then it just works in like 15 seconds. It gives you the prompt. But I got to that point because I'm like, what is everything that people have to do? How can I take away 9 of those steps for them and just hand it to them without me having to be in the mix? Oh, I'm going to make a tool for that. So you could go in and say, what are the 10 things? What are the 10 things here that caught my eye? Okay, cool. I'm going to make a tool for that step. Give me the prompt to put into Lovable. Is that tracking? Yeah. So every single person in this room, so in 24 hours, I want you to tell me on our school, or tell me, like, join our school, and tell me, oh, I built this yesterday. Again, they have free credits to start with. So you can just see how it works.
I built the registration list.
Just now?
Yeah.
She just built something on her phone. What is it, the registration list? Let me fall out of this chair. Community gathering. Join us for an inspiring evening of connection, learning, and celebration. Meet fellow community members and build lasting relationships. March 15th, 2026, from 6 to 9, Community Center. Reserve your spot. Here's the name. Now you just go in, and if you don't know how to do something, like, oh, the button's not working, go to ChatGPT and say, I want the button to work on Lovable. I don't know what to do. It'll tell you. Or you can say it to Lovable too. You can say, Lovable, I want this to do this, and it'll do it.
That's great.
You never been on it?
First time.
Alfred, please get this woman saying that. You've never been on it. Let me show you what she made.
This is my first time.
She made this page while she was sitting here. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm making like 10 more as soon as I get home.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Like now it's just a matter of. Now it's just a matter of. Where's Angel? Come here for a second. Angel. Now it's just a matter of. Now you have to think about the opposite, which is self-edit. Now I can do all this stuff. Where does it now become a junkyard or parking lot of stuff? I need to implement. I need to put it out. I need to experiment. I need to do it fast. A really safe way to go is to have a lot of things be either like for that or to be lead magnets. So you don't have to worry about the monetization of it.
What do you mean when you say lead magnet?
So a lead magnet is something that it's like, a lead is like someone who might become a customer, and a magnet is something that brings them in. So it could be a freebie, like, oh, here's an ebook, or here, ebook's not the best idea, but like for a freebie, but here is a calculator that tells you how much house you can afford, or how much rent you can afford. I built it on, you build it on Lovable, and if you're somebody selling something that'll help that type of customer, here, this is free. All you have to do is sign up for, and you get their email address, potentially, and now you have that where you can nurture them. And that's where Stan comes in too, because you could actually sell it on Stan, or like do it from Stan instead of elsewhere. You can do it both places, but I'm not going to get into all of that. So on Stan, you have like a free lead magnet feature. They type in their email address. If you go to my Stan store, stan.store/Arlan, go to that, scroll down a little bit, because you were there to get this ticket. Scroll down a little bit, it'll say, get my custom GPT. Guess what that is? A lead magnet. A lead magnet. So you also get emails from me. And some people can unsubscribe, and some people don't, love getting the emails. But that's what you get to nurture over time, people. So I'm saying when you're first getting started, if you feel a little bit nervous, like, I don't know if if it's ready to be sold, don't sell it. Make it a lead magnet. What's really interesting is like if somebody sends you a message and says, hey, it's not working, just go into Lovable, open it up and say, I just got, and paste the message you got. A customer just said this. And then it's going to think for you and fix it.
So I think my question is that I want to brand myself and make myself the business, because I have this amazing gift of networking and building coalitions, putting together amazing youth engagement events, community service. I believe that, people say there's 6 degrees of separation. I believe if I have a conversation with you, we can close that and make those gaps and those connections happen. We met at dinner.
I know you're asking sort of broadly, but
to our mutual friends just from the connection. So that's a gift. So how do I monetize that? But I feel much more at ease because some of the things you were saying have definitely helped, and I'm super excited to start because it can be overwhelming. How do you monetize this? How do you make this a business?
You're asking sort of broadly, but when we were talking earlier about having like the stack of things, like what you just described could be a super high ticket thing where you're like finding 12 people who are like the avatar, and they pay you $12,000 a year to be part of this very, specific society. And I've seen that all day long, right? You could have that. Or you could say everything in between, school, community. Or you could say, actually, I sell a guide that you made unlovable. I sell a guide that helps people all over the world, or helps people in the South, or helps people who are between 45 and 52, or whatever, helps people build their own connections. Because then you become, like you say you want to be the brand, you want to build your brand. When you said the thing about connecting people at the beginning, all I saw was a page that had that visually shown. And let's say, like I do these like 6-person dinners, that's what I teach, just like have a 6-person dinner, kind of networking thing. You could come up with some sort of framework that's yours, that you just made up. And it's like, do some deep research on ChatGPT and find out how many people, so I think there is a number, it's like probably 5 or something, how many people in school, if you have 3 members, you're more likely to be successful. So once you reach 3 members in school, their data shows that you're more likely to be successful. So all that means is you could come up with something like a hypothesis based on what you already believe and know and feel. Compare it to some sort of, somebody did some research somewhere, find out on ChatGPT and confirm it. And you could just say, what I have found is that if someone has 4 close friends, they are the most content. Because someone else is thinking, I'm supposed to have 40 friends to feel complete. So you're myth busting, and you're giving people permission, and you're empowering people, and you're doing it all under an umbrella of a framework that you're going to give a name, and then you're going to have something where they can download something, they can take a quiz, they can calculate, something happens because you've played with it and you've asked what it should be and you've iterated, and then you decide, am I going to sell this passively? Mrs. Sims. She's over there. Anybody know my pizza dog story? Does anybody know my pizza dog story? Oh, nobody knows my pizza dog story. I'm gonna tell you my pizza. It's a secret. I don't mind. Y'all go ahead. She's quite bored by me. I understand. No, it's all good. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? So you extrapolate. It starts with your everybody here is a scientist. Everybody here is a journalist. Everybody here is experimenting. So you have a thesis. Everybody here has a thesis. You have a hypothesis. You have something where you're like, I believe this about the world. I believe this about these certain people. I believe that. And I have aspirations for this. Like, we all want to make money. That is not a special desire. But what we all also have in common is that we want to make impact on a certain group of people. Is that pretty accurate? There's somebody in your mind's eye that you just came to mind that represents who you want to have impact on. So you start there, and then you kind of pull back a little bit, get a little bit more, bird's eye view, and say, okay. And if you have any questions along the way, you just say to one of the AI platforms, this is what I'm thinking. What am I missing? So the sky is the limit. It could be that with the lady with the 6 kids who won the stand competition with one product that something else wasn't working high ticket, and she just made it one time, and then she just said, I'm going to get on, I'm going to do content. I'm going to point people to it every day, even scared. And now she's out of debt. It could be that, or it could be something else. And the cool thing is, it is not just or, it is and. So you start something because you want to focus enough to actually try it. And then who's to say in 3 years you're not putting on international retreats, right? Or who's to say you start with You start with the one-on-one calls because you can do that. But who's to say then, after you have 30 clients that you do one-on-one calls with, you're like, great, I'm no longer doing that. I'm going to productize this. I'm going to turn it into something that is a SaaS product, a product that's just online that I build once and it costs less and people can use it. You can go in either direction. Either direction. And one last thing I'll say is, I say this a lot to startup founders, is that if you're stuck, if you're doing something that is a service and it's not selling well, think about how you can make it a product, like productize it. And if you have a product that is not selling well, think about how you can make it a service.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nadine Nathan. I've been a dressmaker since 30 years, and that's the reason I'm here today. 2 years ago, I went to cancer. And now I don't have the energy anymore to do all this work. I have a physical place where I do alteration because I'm an alteration specialist. How can I make that, turn it to a digital?
Is there anything that you do in your, I'm grateful you're here, thank you. Is there anything that you do in your alteration process that can be taught to somebody else? Probably a few steps, including that what I just said about the ChatGPT. How do you do this? And then honing in on one thing. Turn it into, like I said, you have a service, you have something you're doing with your hands, turn it into a product. So you could have a course. That's true. I always recommend a course, but in this case, you could just have a product that costs $27 or $49 or $99. And you could use Stan, you could use school, you could do whatever. You could have a school for people who want, you've been doing this for 30 years, I bet you have some receipts. Some pictures are awesome, right? So you could have a school for people who, but if you don't even want to do that, build one thing, put it on Stan, and then send people to it. If you can feel like once a week, can you record for 30 minutes? If you can do that, you have a whole business. Yeah. I just helped someone, and you have something that's like visually stunning, visually interesting, demoable. That ain't a word, but you know what I mean. I just helped someone, are they here? Is Kashi here? So I helped Kashi, she's in my inner circle, and she had a goal, want to make $5,000 really quickly. And just trying to figure stuff out. One-on-one consulting was just draining her. She has all these different certifications, and she loves to learn, and there's so much going on. And we were just working through it. And then she said she was a hypnotherapist, like she got that certification at one point. And I was like, what you're gonna do, because she wanted to be told, what am I gonna do? What you're gonna do is over the weekend, you're gonna record 3 20-minute hypnotherapy audios. One's gonna be about fear of flying, and 2 others can be about whatever you want it to be. And then she did that, and I said, when you do, and she said, okay, I'm gonna upload it on, I said, put Stan down. All you're gonna do is that. And then you're gonna tell me. And then she told me, because you can text me when you're in your circle. So then she told me. Then, this is how you open up Stan. This is how you upload your bio picture. This is how you upload a product. So now she has, we just did this, right? We just did it. So now she has that, and what she thought was, I'm gonna have to do one-on-one calls for the rest of my life. And what I'm saying to her is, if you do 10 30-second videos on Instagram about fear of flying, there are gonna be multiple people who are either getting ready to fly or want to conquer that, who are gonna download this because it's the price point that's worth a shot. And then she had other ones. And then she could have 20 if she wanted to, but she really could have those 3. So if there's anything that is transferable knowledge that you have, you do not have to suffer through you've done the thing, you've earned that right. You do not have to keep doing that if you don't want to. You can do it for fun, you could do it for, just look at what you've done and just observe it as art. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna tell you the pizza dog story, because we've all earned that, okay? And it's all good, don't worry. My own mother, so you shouldn't be embarrassed. Mom, do you know that? 18 hours of labor, she said. Do you know the pizza dog story, Mom? Okay, I'm gonna tell it real quick. Everybody okay? You still with me? Okay. It's 2017 or so. I have been in Silicon Valley for about almost maybe a year and a half. I had a really viral article about me in, I want to say it's Inc. magazine or something, or like online. And so some people knew me, but most people didn't, okay? But I was no longer homeless, and I was raising money in Silicon Valley. I go to an event, I live in LA, and I go to an event in San Francisco. And it's like an author of this huge, crazy VC book, venture capital book, that's like a textbook. It's like the book. And I wanted to see him talk live. I wanted to try to meet him and do the thing you do. Like, I'm gonna shoot my shot thing, right? So I go to it, and when I walk in, somebody's like, these two ladies are like, "Are you Arlan?" And I was like, "I made it." I was like, "Well, yes, I am. I am Arlan, yeah." And I go up in the elevator, and they were like, "Oh, this is so cool that you're here." And I was like, "Yeah." So I go up in the elevator, and I am just like, "That's right." So I go in, it's like this kind of room, and he's over here. And he's gonna talk, and all the chairs are facing that way. I'll do the opposite. Well, there's a couch over here. So just like my mom's the cool kid on the couch, there was a couch there, and nobody was sitting on it. So I was like, well, obviously I'm Arlan, so I'm gonna sit on the couch, because they know me. Nobody else said anything, by the way. I'm gonna sit on this couch, because that's what you do when you're cool. I'm gonna sit on the couch, I'm gonna sit on a chair. Who am I? So I sit on the couch, he's over here, I'm back here, and it's just it's riveting, it's very dry, it's very like whatever, and the room is full of investors and people who want to be investors, and it's very, probably boring to most people, but I was fascinated. But as you do, as anybody here may have done, you get a little bit fatigued, and you want to just have your mind do something else. So when I was on Twitter, this was the time I was on Twitter, I just pulled out my phone, and I'm like, you know what? I have my phone on silent, and I have my it's like, the ringer, silent, so we're good. I go on Twitter, and I'm just flipping through it, and he's talking, and I'm really interested, but I have to do something else. Everybody relates to that. There was a tweet that explained via video how you could turn a pizza into a hot dog. And naturally, who wouldn't watch that? Who wouldn't want to know that? So I said, oh, and I pressed the button, and the loudest, "You take the pizza, dog, and you want to fold it."
And you're on the couch.
I'm on the couch, so it can't be anybody else. And when that happens, you flip in, you can't get it to stop. And I was like, oh no, am I dreaming? Please be dreaming. And I just did it, and I turned it off, and I just sat there, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's right, pizza dog. And I didn't go up to, I think I might have gone up to him that day, but it completely changed the dynamic of the room, I will say. There was nobody in there. It wasn't like this friendly. It wasn't like, "Girl, that's crazy, you should stop." They were like, "Who let her in here?" So I always bring up the pizza dog when somebody's phone blows up. Or not always, but I like to bring that up because it happens to the best of us. Okay.
Thank you for coming to New York. That's one. So last week, Saturday, me and my daughter, we took a nap so we couldn't go to sleep. We seen a video of you, and I told her, I made her watch you. And I said,
Your
you're
daughter?
gonna learn.
How old is she?
So once we found out,
his daughter telling her
being that I held
about
her
Sora
accountable
for their
to her schoolwork, she held
clothing
me
line, I
accountable
guess.
for her
There's a
clothing,
beauty line in the clothing
which
line.
is Bella Creations.
Okay.
We need more customers, Daddy. So she tells me about Sora, and yes, 8. And
you said he needs to put $13 on a stand store? You know what a stand store is? That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought
she
so.
wanted to know, how do we get that into
I
digital
understand.
products? Then she tells me I need to put my 13 novels on the stand store. I'm like, oh.
You say you should put $13 on a stand store? You know what a stand store is?
We heard it from you, but she said that you need to do that, Daddy.
So this is where, and the parents in the room can help me with this because I'm not a parent, but there's a woman in our inner circle whose daughter, she works with her daughter. She does Ava's pet, pet food. So she's there and amazing, right? Was she on Shark Tank? She should be if she was. Yeah, and what I was going to say is like there's a content angle there, but you have to decide if you want your daughter to be on camera, right?
Not afraid of the camera.
Yeah, it's just like a safe, privacy and everything. But there's, like I follow like at least 3 children who are under 5 who play drums. I don't know why, but it's like there's so much there. And if she's enjoying it, it shouldn't be something that's pressured or anything. But if she's enjoying it, you could have where either you're on camera or off camera asking her questions, or she's telling you what to do, and everything you just described is quite interesting, right? Yeah. Yes. Oh, what is your name again? Bella. She asked me if I went to a Black university. You are fascinating. I'm not upset. I'm just really fascinated by you. I did not, because I didn't go to a university. I didn't go to college. Are you going to go to one? Yeah, which one? Do you know yet? No. Say it again? Forgot the name. Do you know what city or anything? Or yeah, but that's interesting. No, I didn't go to one. You know, well, you wouldn't know, a different world, but they're making like a TV show on Netflix about Black colleges.
Yes, they have it out.
Yeah, it's filming. Yeah. So, but why did you ask that?
Searching up universities in technology class.
In technology class? You have a technology class at 8? Does everybody have that? Is that normal? I'm asking for real. I don't have kids. I'm playing Oregon Trail. Try not to get like what is it? Yeah. So I'm glad they were talking about Black universities. I think they're fantastic. I've donated to many. I've donated scholarships to several colleges, not several Black ones. But yeah, that's amazing. My mother did. She went to Dillard University in New Orleans. And she had her 50th anniversary a few years ago, and they walked the entire graduation line ahead of the graduating class, and they had the golden robes on. It was very cool. It was one of the most touching things I'd ever been a part of. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So yeah.
And you're saying you want it to be a digital product. So what is
It's almost 9:15. Everybody okay? Everybody feeling okay? Okay. So I think you say you need more customers. I think that comes with content. So you have to have a place where it's being sold. Do you have it being sold somewhere? Or do you have...
Shopify, Instagram.
And you're saying you want it to be a digital product. So what is it today? Is it anything yet?
Physical clothing products.
Physical clothing?
Yes.
Like what?
And then they got my novels that because watching you, I was convinced to start selling on Stan stuff.
Yeah. I mean, is there one or the other that you want to focus on, or do you want to do... I know you want to do both, but if you had to choose, what would you focus on?
It would be my novels.
Okay. Sorry, Bella. I tried. You have 2 coloring books. Can you please, do you have what is this? This is filming? Please turn that in her direction, and later, and film her, and film her talking about all this stuff. Would you watch this?
Yes.
I'd watch it all day long.
All day.
I would be my favorite television show. Like it's Bella's Corner.
Yes, that's it.
Like she's at a, does she have like a little table or a little something? She's just talking about things that are interesting to her. The coloring book, she can show it, show how to use it, show other kids how to use the coloring book. And you can say, hey, you can get this at this address, just tell your parents to go get it. Like, just you recording raw footage, we could turn that into something, It's just all there. Yeah. See, I think I shouldn't have kids because I would be a stage mom all day. Yeah. No, but honestly, Bella, I think you have And for your novels too, I'm not discounting
I
that.
think
I'm
maybe
just saying
having one or
that
two that you focus
I
on
see
would be
this
good, and then once you
immediately.
see how they do,
What this is, I
you
don't know
have
what
the
this
13 novels
this
are about.
arsenal.
I
I think you probably want.
of,
Are they like what kind of
a
genre?
collection, especially if you can make a collection. Like, could you get together and make some sort of like Harry Potter situation, but not Harry Potter? Like that. Your stage plays. Okay, there's a lot going on at that house. Yes. She said. Listen, if y'all don't have Bella energy, I don't want to talk to you. Bella Creations. What's the last one?
Hold on.
2022. Bella Creations. Did you start this 3 years ago?
It's Bella Creation 2022.
Bella Creations.
Bella Creation 2022.
2022. Just 15. Can everybody
2022.
stop telling me they can't do content?
2022.
I'm furious. I'm heated. She came in here correct. She came in here correct. She was ready. She is showing the camera her page. Get a close up of that, Alfred Earl.
I love you. Oh my goodness.
Bella, come over here, please, if you would like to. It's okay? Thank you, Belly. Let me see this. 15.8 thousand followers. Pizza dog. Pizza dog.
This is her.
Pizza dog.
No, this is her site. This is her Instagram.
True board leader.
T-shirts. Bella's Creations. Who are these children? Your dad made them? You mean on AI? Okay.
This is her site. This is her Instagram. Oh, you doing this one?
And are you in there? T-shirts. Bella's Creations. Who are these children? Your dad made them?
Very nice.
You made on AI? Okay. Oh, and then this is you on camera. What are you talking about on this one?
Oh, you doing this one?
Are you in there? Thanksgiving? What? Are you taking your hair down? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. So my hair looks crazy.
This is very nice.
How long have you had the like desire to be an entrepreneur like this?
I was 4.
And how do you? Thanksgiving? What? Are you taking your hair down? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just very special.
So my hair looks crazy.
How long have you had the like desire to be an entrepreneur like this?
When I was 4.
And how do you? You're just very special.
Right. Yeah.
You got new followers. I paid too much for this makeup. I'm not gonna cry now. Oh my goodness. Listen, everybody. Everybody in here better have a lovable page up by tomorrow. What is this? Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love Arlan.
Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong.
It's nice. I'll use it as a bookmark. Okay, listen, everybody. Let's get our acts together. If you do not have Bella energy, I don't want to talk to you. If you are not willing to come correct with your Instagram handle in hand, with your AI-generated group of friends wearing your AI-generated t-shirt, I do not want to talk to you. What did we learn today with Bella's help and about ourselves? Be bold. Fearless, bold, and yeah. Youth is wasted on the youth, right? They say, yeah. So let's take it back. Let's take that back. I mean, honestly, like, you know, I think that willingness to experiment that you have when you're a kid, that willingness to try, to be curious, not worry about how it looks or what people think of you, that willingness is what probably will save us all and kickstart us. And I think half of this room will go home and have had a wonderful evening and find it to be inspiring. And I think half of this room will go home and build something that's going to take them out of their current circumstances that they don't want to be in.
I'm on that half. You were amazing, first of all.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm going to definitely.
Thank you.
So many gems were dropped.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm really excited.
I love you, Arlan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
beautiful. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so wow, so it was VIP, and that was awesome. I had a great time here. So we had this private room, got to meet everybody, take pictures, sign, and now there are some people hanging out. We're gonna go out and see if we can just take some quick pictures, and yeah, then we're gonna head out, depending on what time it is. I think we're over the time that we're supposed to be here, so we're gonna see what happens. That was really fun. Rachel came through in so many ways, and then she hopped up and did a fireside impromptu, like we had planned it for months. So good. I knew she would kill that. But no, this was fantastic. You know, New York is just always it's so wonderful. It's not even the city though. It really is the people. Like I could see in the people's eyes. They're just one breakthrough away, and that's why I'm doing this. I can't wait for Atlanta. I can't wait for DC. Wow. And I can't wait to see, I love when I see people's clips and their videos and they tag me. I can't wait to see all the posts inside of our different memberships. And it seems like a lot of people learned something, had at least one takeaway, which is phenomenal, phenomenal.